Good. Okay, we got a better connection this time. We straight.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm at the house this time, so we connected to the home Wi-Fi.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I cannot complain. It's hot in Atlanta,
Yeah,
but it's a beautiful day, and anybody who's up today and able to move around is blessed. So I'm blessed.
yeah, absolutely. So, I really appreciate you for being on the Dessie show.
Of
Um, I've
course.
I've admired your work for quite some time, and
Thank you.
and I know we have lots of mutual connections, especially if we sit down and really get to going through them one by one.
Yeah.
So, so please tell the viewing audience what it is that you do and who you are.
What it is I do. And it's always a weird question to answer because I
Everything.
do a lot of different stuff. I guess I'm a publicist. I've been an entertainment publicist. My dog is hanging out with me today. I've been an entertainment publicist in Atlanta. My company's Enchanted Branding and Public Relations, and that's probably how most people. How I met most people in Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta in 2005, and I started working for another PR agency, and then opened my own in 2008, and then really became official in 2010. So that's probably the bulk of where most people that I met. It was through doing public relations for a number of celebrities in Atlanta and actually around the country, because we had clients that weren't just here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm also an author. I had a book that came out in 2006. There was a fiction novel that I did not do a good job of publicizing. So a lot of people don't know that I was an author as well.
Yeah.
I also I returned to journalism, which was my first love. I was talking last week, and I don't think I was actually a broadcast journalist major in
Yeah.
college. I started as a broadcast journalist major, and I got married early, and I had 2 kids. And so I thought maybe that career field wasn't for me. And so I let that go. And about 2 years ago, I started about 5 years ago. I started doing these little things called PR Minute, and I
Yeah.
posted them on YouTube. And I didn't get a lot of views because I didn't do a great job of publicizing it, but
Yeah.
certain people saw them, and I started getting people asking me why wasn't I doing more things in front of the camera, and I was like,
Yeah.
because that's not really what I do.
Uh-huh.
So one of my mentors, Munson Steed, actually called me and said, you should be doing that more. So
Yeah.
he offered me an opportunity to do reality check on Rolling Out. So I started doing that. And I enjoy conversations. I mean, anybody who's a journalist enjoys talking to people. I
Yeah.
especially enjoy talking to women and telling their stories. So I have a show on Rolling Out called Reality Check. I also was doing a podcast at that time called Music, Love, Life. And
Yeah.
then I got an offer from Fox 5 to do a celebrity relationship segment every other week on Fox. So that is
Yeah.
kind of the bulk. I do entertainment publicity still. And
Yeah.
then I started recently, last year, I've kind of reached into real estate investment to kind of diversify my own portfolio.
Right.
And the last thing is, of course, my second book, How to Win.
Hey.
Yay! Yay! Thank you for the support. Got the second book that came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about the message behind it. But I guess publicist, real estate, and then journalist and writer. So all of that kind of meshed up in one is what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely knew you for PR and then for Rolling Out. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
it always seemed like you were the go-to person with Rolling Out, or maybe you were just the most known person out, like that people felt like they could reach out to. So anytime there was anything dealing with Rolling Out, I always knew you were in the forefront of that. So, yeah, and you definitely did a great job of that. One
Thank
thing that I did want to ask you about, because I do marketing and
you. Mhm.
branding as well for a lot of
I
clients.
see that. Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of have the same issues. Why is it so hard for us or people like us to do that same marketing and branding for ourselves as opposed for somebody else?
Well, you know what? I know that I am a person that my first nature is to help other people.
Mhm.
I was, I'm the oldest, in my family. I've had a little brother, so I was always taking care of my little brother. And then
Yeah.
I got married and had kids early. So my nature is, it's in my nature to to make sure everybody else is okay. And I enjoy that. You know, I've enjoyed it for years. But what I've realized, I see some of my other colleagues, you know, that I've talked to this about. April Love was on him a little while ago. We would talk about, like, sometimes you that becomes a handicap, right? Because you get so used to taking care of others that you do yourself a disservice. Right. And I definitely have, you know, that's been one of my weaknesses. You know, like I said, most people didn't even know that I published a book, you know, because I just didn't talk about it. And so I felt like pushing myself was not something I should be doing. I should be pushing other people. I felt, you know, I always, but in the end result of that is my career wasn't where it should have been, you know, and I'm still, you know, now realizing that I've pushed a lot of other people in a position, which is great, but I always put Christal on the back burner. And I think it's a lesson to all of us that we, you know, that's not healthy. You know, it's now, you know, people say that, oh, that's great. You know, you do, but it's not healthy when you don't put yourself first, you know, and it's second nature. So I'm slowly learning to push what I have along with the clients that I have. And a lot of times, you know, we have clients that don't want you to do that. You know, a lot of clients don't want you to push your own thing. But then I started realizing if I have a client that is a conflict of interest for me to push myself, then that's the wrong client for me to have. Absolutely. So I don't need that client. You know, if they can't be happy with the fact that I'm doing a great job for them, and they feel threatened at the fact that I'm also doing things, then I need to get rid of those type of clients. And I had to do that because there are quite a few that are not comfortable, you know, with that. But I think that we all have talents, and life is too short not to hold yourself back from anything, because we don't know how long we're going to be here, you know. So it's a lesson learned. So I would say to you, to not do that, to make sure that you are, for however much time you're investing in other people, you need to make sure that you're also investing in that in yourself. And if it feels uncomfortable, then you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of how this show started about, because, you know, with the pandemic, you know, can't go anywhere, can't get out. And we have the relationships, we have the contacts. So it was, you know, as opposed to just always passing on, you know, that for the client, why not just do it for myself? And
absolutely.
Also wanted to take the opportunity to spotlight people such as yourself that, like in the industry, everybody knows who you are, but people may not necessarily know about you or your story. And so this is an opportunity to kind of
thank you
those dots and spotlight people that I know in the industry that are working really hard. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So now let's look. We're gonna talk about you. So let's talk about the book. So once again,
yay! Yes.
Available on Amazon.
Amazon, yes, on Amazon.com, and on the website. You can go to the website and order it from the website as well. It's just how to win when shit happens. Just very simple. How to win when shit happens. I think we're all in a situation where some shit is happening and it continues to happen. But I feel like, you know, the book was started from me sitting at home and realizing that, you know, just like everybody else, you know, working in entertainment publicity, a lot of my clients were focused on doing events, especially during the spring and summer months. That's when we really focus on. A part of our PR plan includes events. If it's artists, they're out performing. I had beauty products that were planning on doing big events at Essence Music Festival. When all that stuff stopped, it was very just a little unsettling and scary, and it felt unknown. Like, what do we do? You know, you have people that are paying you to create opportunities for them to connect with consumers. And I realized that being around a lot of successful people has offered me the opportunity to kind of see what makes them tick, right? And so I think what separates people that are successful from people that are not successful is not skill set, definitely not. It's not where you're born. You know, when I first moved here, people told me, oh, you're not going to be able to be successful because you didn't go to a HBCU. Now, I didn't go to a HBCU. I see you, April. I see the FAMU people. Y'all got a tight network. And then the CAU Center, they got a tight network. But I came here from the University of Oklahoma. No connection, no network, you know. But I just said, I can't allow that to stop me. And so I think people that are successful realize that there's nothing that can stop them but themselves. You know, not even their race, Not even their race. We hear a lot of people saying, well, you know, they don't give opportunities to this. If you truly are destined, whatever your destiny is, nothing can stop you from that destiny but yourself.
Yeah.
And the only thing that you can do to change that is to change the way you look at yourself, change your mindset, right? And how do you change your mindset? You can reprogram your brain. I realized years ago when I was telling you I wasn't good at promoting myself, I was good at promoting other people and hiding in the back. And I prayed about it, and God showed me that I actually wanted to be a publicist, and that position was attractive to me because I like to hide in the shadows. You know, I wasn't confident in the forefront because I didn't feel that I deserved that. And I had to change my outlook. And that was a slow process. But my uncle gave me a book, and the book was how to talk to yourself, like what to say when you talk to yourself, right?
Yeah.
And basically the book teaches you that what your internal story has been, hey Hattie, has led you to the place that you are. So if you don't like where you are, it's because of what you've been telling yourself at home. This is what's for me. This is how it always ends up for me. So I realized with that book I had to change it. And in order to change it, you need affirmations. You need to start rewriting the script that your internal script. And so that's what this book is. It's 31 affirmations that basically rewrite the script of what you say to yourself when you're at home. That's the most important thing. It's not what other people say, it's what you say to yourself.
Yeah, and you talk about basically like self-fulfilling prophecies.
Absolutely. That's it. That's exactly it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in this, did you write this before the pandemic or once?
I wrote it during the pandemic.
So you got very fast too.
I did. I put it out. I started at the end of February, and I wrote in the entire month of March. And then I told myself I wanted to put it out right after Mother's Day, because I wanted to get to people. I wanted to be able to share this with people while they're in the middle of things, because the thing about it is it's easy to feel positive when things are good, right? It's easy to feel, there are times in my career where things were going excellent, like money was flowing, staff was good, clients were coming. It's easy to have faith and to speak positivity during those times.
Right.
But that's not when it's important. It's like, this coronavirus, doctors are telling us, if you don't come into contact with anything, your immune system, it could be good or it could be bad. You would not know. How you know you have a strong immune system is when it's tested and it's able to fight and it's strong enough to get through. And that's the same thing with your mental immunity. You may be weak-minded, you know what I mean? But you don't know because things are going great. And then when things slow down or things turn, then all of a sudden you're crushed, you're depressed, you're full of anxiety. It's because you did not have, your mental immunity was not strong. So just like we need to take vitamins and we need to make sure we're working out for our physical body, we need to make sure that we're saying affirmations and we're spending the time to make sure that our mental clarity and our mental strength is just as strong, because that's really what pushes you forward to be able to go out there and even work out. If you're not in a great mental place, you won't even be able to have the things that you need to do to get up and go out and work out, to get up and make sure that you're taking advantage of every opportunity. It's the strength. It starts in the mind, and your mind tells your body what to do. So if your mind isn't strong, you're not going to make the most. You're not going to be in the best place, and you're not making the most of your life. And you're definitely not going to live in the purpose and the passion that God destined you to, because you're not going to be able to overcome the obstacles that life throws at you.
Yeah, and I also feel it was so important for you to get this book out is because in a time like this, when you have clients and typically even like when you have clients and in a situation like this, people cut budgets and
oh man,
they want to cut marketing, they want to cut PR, like it's certain departments.
PR and marketing go first.
Yeah, they always go first. And so if you're not betting on yourself, if you don't have a way to pivot, then you will kind of get blindsided.
You will get blindsided. I had a client tell me today that they are no longer moving forward because they can't. But because I'm in my zone, and I know that what God has is for me and it's going to be for me, and nothing can stop that. So yes, that money will, I will miss that money, but I know that it will come another way. And I know that no one person holds the key to my destiny. But yes, you're right. Marketing and PR go first. Yeah. They absolutely go first.
And so the way I look at it is like, okay, let me make sure I'm prepared, whether that's utilizing technology, about some music artists earlier, and
Yeah.
just event space overall. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we still don't really know when events are coming back full fledged or concerts are coming back
No.
full fledged.
Mm-mm.
So people have to figure out a way to make income, whether that's utilizing the internet, whether that's, you know, selling something that,
Right.
you know, and it's about a balance too when it comes to selling things,
Yeah.
because you don't want to be out there selling something that people don't need. Like, this is a book that is self-help, so therefore it is
Yeah.
a thing.
And this is a book that is $9.99.
Yeah.
It's $9.99. The ebook is $4.99. And I did PR for Barnes and Noble for years, and I don't know if I don't talk about that a lot either, except a few interviews I've talked about that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times people put out a product. You put out a product that is for you, right? When I
Yeah.
did this book, people said, one of the girls that was helping me, she said, you don't want your picture on the book? I said, no, I don't need my picture on the book, because the message is about the message is what's selling the book. My picture is not. People don't know me outside of, I got 26,000 followers on Instagram, but that's it. I don't have a billion followers.
Yeah.
People don't know me like that. So the message is what I need to lead with. When you're selling product, you need to make sure that you're selling to people, not selling to yourself. Like, a lot of people do it and it's an ego stroke, right?
Yeah.
So they want to put out something that they want. I want to put out something that other people want, because I want to make money off of it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to put out something to make myself feel good and to make me look like a baller. I'll look like a baller when there's money in my bank account. You know what I mean? So I just want to remind people, because even clients will come to me. I've represented authors, and they want to put a book out with a cover that's not, it's not sellable. When I'm looking for a cover, you need to figure out what is going to resonate with the people that are in the demographic that you're going after. And
Yeah.
that's just a PR tip that I think a lot of times we don't pay attention to, you know, because it's not really, when you're selling something, it's not about you, you
You're
know,
right.
it's about who you're trying to connect with.
But yeah, and one of my favorite books is Brian Tracy's The Psychology of Selling,
Yeah,
and he talks about selling for benefits as opposed to selling for features.
that's what I'm talking about.
If
Yes.
I'm trying to sell you a car, I need to know about you, and you told me that you have kids, so I'm going to tell you about the safety of a car. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you, oh, this car goes 150 miles an hour, and
Right, right. 'Cause I don't care about that. I'm gonna say right now,
exactly.
that's never gonna sell a car to me. But
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. And I think we forget that. We tell our clients that, but it can be easy to forget when you're focusing on yourself, you know? So, and then we're also in a very narcissistic culture right now, where everybody is focused on themselves. And I understand a lot of that is because people are empty in certain ways, and they want to feel validated, but you can't take those weaknesses into your business. You know, if you really want to be successful, you can't take that into business. You have to figure out, you know, how to really service and be effective. And there are a lot of entrepreneurs that are doing that. I mean, we're in a time where anything that you can think, you can create. You
Yeah.
know, you have the ability to do it. But I would just encourage people to take the time to actually do the research and figure out how to be successful, as opposed to asking other people or trying to reinvent someone else's model. You know,
Right.
find out what's going to work for you, you know,
Yeah.
and go that way.
Yeah, and another thing that you touched on earlier that I really liked was you mentioned putting, some of your PR minutes on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and not really getting the views that you may have wanted. But
Yeah.
it's so important to stay consistent and do things regardless of likes on Instagram or views
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, because you still, like, it may get 10 views, but you don't know who those 10 people are and who
And
they.
that's true. That's true. That's why I did 2 seasons of it, and I was consistent. And I have a YouTube page now. Anyone that's watching, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Enchanted PR Online. And if you go through the videos, you'll see those early videos. I shot the first season with my iPhone.
Yeah.
But I wasn't caring about, I've never been really, I'm not a person that's after like being in front of a lot of people or something. I really just I was tired of people not understanding what entertainment publicists did. And
Yeah.
I wanted to get that information out. So you'll see these little homemade YouTube videos, but I got some other people that reached out to me because they did see those videos, you know, and they offered, I got clients based on the videos. People might not have been liking it or sharing it, but they saw it and they realized, oh, she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And I was able to get clients from that, even other, interviews that led to other things. And actually that is what led to, I didn't chase rolling out. And so many people come to me, they want an opportunity. Like, put me on. I want to do rolling out. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I'm like, you realize I didn't go after rolling out. I didn't go after Fox. Those opportunities came after me because I was doing the work.
Yeah.
And I just sometimes I don't feel like young people understand you can't go searching for what you want. And one of my mentors is Joyce Littell, and I went to talk to her because I was frustrated, about some stuff I was doing. And she said, Christal, I've never chased an opportunity. I put all of me into everything that I do, and the opportunities come. And I was like, you know what? I thanked her for those words, and I realized I was on the right path. Out of the people that have come to me, you will be surprised about how many people have asked me to put them on, get them a show. And I'm like, I didn't ask anyone to do that. Someone came to me because they saw the work I was doing independently. And I think that if you really understand that what is for you is going to find you, as long as you're walking in your purpose and you are consistent and you're putting in the work. Going around and chasing people and trying to and then feeling resentful when they don't do something that you think, all that leads you to discouragement and frustration, and it doesn't take you where God had for you anyway,
Yeah, and that's one of those things. It's like, if you build it, they will come. Like,
Yes.
people say that, but like, it's really,
Yeah. No, it's so true. It's so true. That's what this book is about. It's really like, if you say something, you put in the universe, but you have to start walking towards it. We all know the Bible verse, faith without works is dead.
It's dead. Yeah.
True. You have to start working towards it. But part of your walk is not asking other people to put you on. Part of your walk is doing your work consistently, and other people will see that because you can't help but see it. I have never actually solicited celebrities to work with ever. People came because they saw the work that I was doing. I didn't even post pictures with celebrities on my page for the longest time because I thought it was lame. That was super lame. You're out at an event. It's like, oh, take a picture. Like, that's not your client.
Right.
But, why am I taking a picture with a celebrity? But that's for other people to see and think that I'm really, in the mix or whatever. But it's not even really about that. Really, it's about doing the work and moving in your own purpose and in your own passion towards the destiny that's set for you.
Yeah, and I always mention that probably 95% of my business comes off referrals.
Absolutely.
So if you do a great job for someone, and and they'll refer you, don't even have to ask for the referral.
You don't have to, because other people will see what's going on with their project and want that for themselves, and then they will say, who did that for you? Or let's find out who did that for that person. It is nothing good for me has ever come from chasing down somebody else's blessing.
Yeah. And before I get you out of here, I wanted to talk about network as well, because I know you have a great network. And can you just talk about the importance of networking, and not asking people to necessarily put you on, but just just really networking.
Well, I think the first thing that I don't hear most people talk about when it comes to networking is really being genuine. When you meet someone, they have a chance to see who you really are, right? So I'm just gonna be real. If the first thing you do is start kissing behind and chasing them down, that's not really showing them your value. What you want to do, I have a great network, but I didn't when I first came. I will say that I did not. I think that if you do good work and you treat people with respect, they will remember that. And I don't go to people unless I have something for them, right? You could have, as a publicist, you may have a client, when I did a few press runs with Chili for her show. So we had, Entertainment Tonight, and I'm looking like, oh, wow, I got a contact in Entertainment Tonight. That's a dope contact for a publicist. Growing up, that's the kind of, contacts I dreamt about. But I can't call them with a client that doesn't fit what they do. You know what I mean? So it's how you utilize your network. And the best thing that I can say is to treat people with respect. Always be upfront, right? Don't overpromise and underdeliver, because people remember that. So when you do reach out to a person, they will know you by your work. So just definitely, meet people, leave an impression on them, but just be authentic. People remember that more than anything, because what I've learned is I see people that know a lot of people, but a lot of people know that they're full of it. You know? A lot of people know, you'll hear it in a room, they'll be like, yeah, that person. But, you know, people get to know you by your work. So
Yeah.
make sure that every time you get an opportunity, you show up. And not that everything will be perfect, because, you know, things don't always go perfectly, but do your best and
Yeah.
be conscientious. And that is the best tip with networking, is to be someone that people know, oh, every time I see her, she's genuine. Every time I see her, every time she reaches out to me, is something in it for me as well.
Yeah.
Don't ever ask someone something without offering them something. One of my other mentors told me that. Do not ever go to somebody and I so many people call and just ask for stuff, and I'm like, you know, cause when she told me that, I was like, that makes sense. So even with Joyce, who is a mentor of mine, if I want to, I like, can I take you to lunch? Can I bring you something? Can I do something? You know what I mean? Let me not just assume that you're sitting around waiting to do me a favor. You know, let me really put something in and show you my appreciation for what you're doing, and show you that I respect you for who you are. So I would say, just, you know, and I remember the interns that have come to me, or people that ask me to be interns, when they show value, exactly, Rel, that when you can show me, okay, this is what I know about you, and this is what I can add to that. That is memorable. Just trying to be in someone's face and take a picture and act like you know a lot of people, that's that fake network, and it doesn't work. It doesn't lead to opportunity. It does not lead to opportunity. It leads to you thinking that you are popular, and popularity doesn't equal money. You know,
Right.
so it's kind of,
Yeah.
it depends on what your goals are. You know.
Yeah. And I love that you said, you know, the win-win, because you always want to have a win-win situation
Yeah.
when you're talking to different outlets. You also want to, you know, it's like, do the research, know who you're talking to.
Please.
Yes.
Please do the research. Like I tell people all the time, I do work for Rolling Out. I do women's issues, relationships, you know, TV stuff. People will reach out to me with stuff that has nothing to do with that. And even if we cool, like I can't mess up my beat for you. You know what I mean? Even I've even had interns come and ask me to work for me and don't know who I represent, don't know what I do.
Yeah.
It is on good. All you got to do is Google. All you got to do is Google. All you got to do is go to my website, enchantedpr.net, and see what's on there. People are so lazy, you know? People are lazy. And I just, you know, I had time today. Dessie. I had time to talk about it, because I'm just like, do you know how many people would call and ask for an opportunity and not even know who they're talking to?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And as I grew up in business and built my network, one thing that I would always do is try to, you know, and even with me being based in Dallas, like, yeah, I worked for Tom Joyner, so I was Tom Joyner's assistant, but
Mm-hmm.
I also tried to make sure that I knew before I walked into a room, if I was going to really network, I needed to know what was going on, what
Yeah.
they were working on, to make it mutually beneficial. Just like,
Exactly.
you know,
Mutually beneficial is like two of the best words in this business. And I think people need to realize that. I would do the same thing if I'm meeting with somebody. I'm researching that person. I want to find out, you know, as much about, so I can actually have a perspective to that conversation. You
yeah,
know, and now with social media, it doesn't take anything to look somebody up and at least familiarize yourself with what they have going on, you know, so that you can, when you talk to them, you can speak from a point of reference, as opposed to just, what can you do for me? I'm like,
it's
really?
right. And that was one of the things, even with starting this platform. I'm like, okay, before, you know, because I'm trying to make people look as good as possible. So even before going in, I'm like, okay, what you working on offline, so I know, you know,
Yeah.
conversations we can have and how we can.
Right.
So it's, you know, so because I don't want to feel like somebody just coming on my platform to help grow my show, and I'm not helping get out the information that they want to get out. So
Right, right. I know. I think you're right, but I think just being prepared. You know how you actually had the book. When I interviewed Teresa Caldwell, Bow Wow's mom, last week, and I asked her publicist, I said, send me the book. I was interviewing her. I got the interview the day before I was doing the interview. I read her book that night.
yeah,
Now I'm pretty good with conversation, so I probably didn't have to read the whole book, but I wanted to, because I wanted to be able to talk to her and have a conversation based on the book. You know what I mean? Like I talk to people that don't have any clue of who they're talking to. And I'm just like, you can't expect to get to a certain level without, there's nothing that trumps work. The work that you put in is always going to show up. So there's just no progression without sacrifice. You know, even with everything that's going on right now, I know we haven't really talked about that, but it's heartbreaking to see. But I think people forget, in our generation, we forget that people sacrificed. Dogs were attack dogs were put out, water hoses were put out, women were pushed, thrown, men were beat up and lynched for us to be in the situation that we're in. So how dare we feel that we can get to another level without putting in some work? And I'm not saying that looting and all that is work, but what I am saying is that things are going to be uncomfortable in order for us to get to in order for us to have progress. So we see all these different situations of Black men and Black women being killed, being beaten, because not everybody is killed, but if a Black man ends up in jail beaten for his mugshot, that's a problem. You know, if a woman ends up beaten when she gets in, all that is a problem. So in order for us to get change, it's going to take sacrifice. We can't get there. I think our generation has forgotten what Dr. King, Malcolm X, John Lewis, all those civil rights fighters, they were uncomfortable. They went through some trying times in order to get us to this place where we could say we had a Black president the last term. I don't know what we have right now, but it's going to be uncomfortable. You know, things you have to, sacrifice has to happen in order for you to get ahead, you know? So I think we have to remember that. I'm so proud of the people that I do see. And in my neighborhood, I see people out protesting. My daughter and I, you know, are going out. You see people out together and it's a beautiful thing. But we have to remember that has to happen in order. You're not going to, this has been going on for 10 years. Social media has allowed us to see it. But it's not, things don't change just because you say, oh, that's wrong. Things change when you stand up and you sacrifice.
And put in that work and make sure that our elected officials, you know, truly represent us. And if they don't, you know, we get them out of the way. Basically.
Right. We have to. It is unfortunate, but that's just a part of life. Nothing ever, change was never accomplished without somebody making a sacrifice for it, you know, and making people feel uncomfortable. So that's a part of this. And I think that I'm really happy to see that people realize that we can't go on this way. You know, we have to vote, we have to get out, and we have to make our voices heard. And sometimes, I mean, think about it. Dr. King and the many pictures that we see of civil rights, they were just standing there, standing, you know? So civil disobedience, and I don't want to preach to everybody, but I'm just saying, like, y'all, we have to understand where we got was from some other people that were so unselfish and were so committed to a cause of their children and grandchildren being in a place where they had freedom. And how dare we feel like we don't owe them, you know, for that.
And making sure that we are constantly working and not
Absolutely.
protesting and then that's it. Like, do the work beyond that as well, not just for a photo op to put on Instagram or to show that we're out there. Like, no, let's keep doing it.
I can't. I was sitting watching and we're like seeing how many people are just out there taking pictures with their cameras. You know, it's like I said, we're in a narcissistic place, but for the people that are authentic and that really do want to create change, we all create change in different ways. You obviously have a platform. I try to talk as often as I can. I have interviews and I try to promote positivity. I don't, especially within our culture, I'm not a racist. I'm not anything, but I do care about my community first.
Absolutely.
I care about Black and Black women and Black men. I feel like we have to learn to love ourselves and love our own community first before we can serve another community, because our community is hurting. Our community is hurting. We need to make sure that we're supporting each other's businesses. We need to make sure that we're supporting each other's political campaigns. That has to come first. And then we can help other people. But, you know, I say that, like I said, in love, but I just say if there, I put up a scripture the other day, like if in the Bible, there's a scripture where, you know, if a shepherd has 100 sheep and 99 are fine and one is lost, you go get that one that's lost.
You gotta go get.
We have to help ourselves. And I think the biggest thing that I'm committed to is promoting Black businesses, I'm a Black small business owner, entrepreneur. I'm a Black woman. I'm
Yeah.
not ever going to speak negatively about another Black woman. I don't care if she speaks negatively about me. I'm not going to do it. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do it because we can't afford that. I'm not going to speak negatively about another Black business, even though
There are challenges.
there are challenges. but we have to stop doing that. We have to realize that if I put out negativity, that negativity becomes exponentially multiplied, and we cannot afford that right now. So I'm happy to see that people are aware and realizing we gotta help each other, we gotta support each other, because economics changes everything. Economics changes everything. If we start to really value our own Black dollar, the state of ours, the Black community will change once we start
Yeah.
doing that. So we
And
have to do that.
yeah. But thank you so much for being on the show today. Please tell them where to get the book again.
Yes, please. You can go to How to Win When Shit Happens. It's very simple. How to Win When Shit Happens. Or you can go to Amazon. I also want to tell you guys there's a playlist to go along with the book. So when you read your book, it's just 96 pages, so it's not really big, but it is an actual book. So when you read your book, you read your affirmations. I also want you to go online and download the playlist. There's a free playlist with music and inspiration that's going to keep you uplifted. It's going to keep you in the mind frame of the book. We know that words and music are the two most powerful forms on this planet. You know, it just, those are the two mediums that are able to change your mood, change your life, change your energy. So I want you to download this playlist. It's by DJ Mark Battle. He's one of the dopest entertainment DJs in the world. And he and I put this playlist together. There's music and there's short little excerpts from people like Tony Roberts and Sarah Jakes and Jay-Z and Puffy and Oprah, and just different people that are that have put out motivational pieces that feed your spirit. So I ask you guys to please download the playlist. It's absolutely free. The book is $4.99 on Kindle. It's $9.99 to have. And I appreciate you guys' support. And I would love to hear the stories of people that actually get it and it helps change your life.
Yeah, and I'll follow up with you offline as well about that. So thank you for taking the time to be on the show, and I look forward to connecting with you more in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, Dessie.
You have a great day.
Bye.